It's time to play my TBR game, Snakes and TBR Stacks, which is a Snakes and Ladders inspired TBR game that I play almost every single month on my channel. And the rules are pretty simple. I roll to get a prompt for a book to read. If I hit a ladder, it's kind of a reward prompt like mood reading, and I move up. But if I hit a snake, I have to add another roll and another book to my TBR that month. I normally create a new board every single year, but this board actually was really working for me, so I just decided to scrap that, and I'm still playing with the 2023 board for 2024. That being said, let's talk about some major things happening in February for me. I am participating in a readathon, obviously, that I'm hosting called 72 Hours in the Reading Nook. This is a pretty broad readathon. It happens the last weekend of February. It is the Thursday to the Sunday, and it does involve a spinner wheel. I will leave the announcement video linked down below. Other than that, I don't have a lot of plans for February. It's going to be pretty flexible, besides the mandatory book club reads that I have, and there's a lot of them. It is a new year. It's the first time I'm using the board in 2024, so this means I do have to do 5 rolls instead of 6. If I don't complete my TBR, I have to add a 6th roll. But this month I am doing 5 rolls, and of course if I hit a snake, we add some rolls on. Here's to hoping the first month of 2024 is nice to me and I don't hit snakes. I probably just jinxed myself. Let's get into our first roll. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Book club. One of my favorite spots because I always have book club reads to put on a TBR. This is really easy, and I'm going with Age of Myth by Michael J. Sullivan. This year with my Patreon on the Wyvern tier, we're doing a read-along of this series. It's bi-monthly, and I need to read in February so that we can start talking about it and have a live show and a discussion, and I'm really, really excited to binge this series this year with all of my Patreons. I truthfully don't know a lot about this series. I know there's something about the balance between mortals and gods being disturbed because a mortal kills a god, and that shouldn't be allowed to happen. I also know there's a rebellion in this, which is a pretty big buzzword for me, and so I'm really excited to see what happens. I think we're rebelling against these gods. Humans are being wiped out, but we have a god killer and a seer and a bunch of other POVs. I'm really, really excited to try this one. I've heard really good things about this series, in particular by Michael J. Sullivan. Roll 2. 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A sequel. Roll number 2, we landed on sequel. This is not a month for me in sequels. The beginning of the year, typically it's not a sequel style thing for me, so I'm cheating a little bit on this one. A little bit, okay? Forgive me. I am putting Assassin's Blades by Sarah J. Maas. I am also doing a read-along with my patrons for the Throne of Glass series this year. I have read the first 2 books. I've read Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight already, which makes Assassin's Blade a sequel because the queen herself, Sarah J. Maas, just came out and said, read it third, okay? However, in my reread and continuation on the series, I'm technically reading this first. This is the first book we're reading for the read-along. So, like, that's why I think I'm cheating, because it's technically a sequel, but I'm also technically reading it as a first in a series. So I'm cheating just a little bit, because I plan on reading this and then going into Throne of Glass again and rereading Throne of Glass. But it's working in my favor, and I'm going to call it a sequel, because, you know, you're technically told to read it third. Assassin's Blade is a set of short stories, novellas, that fit into the Throne of Glass series. I've been told it has a little bit of backstory behind Selena, who's our MC, within the Throne of Glass series. And I'm really excited to read the series. I'm looking forward to making it past the second book this time. Roll 3. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A spooky book, but also a snake. Our third roll, we hit a snake, we hit a snake, we hit a snake. This year is not starting out right for me. We land on spooky though, which is one of my favorite prompts, so why did I put a snake on it so that I never want to land on it? It just makes me read a spooky book, which I always love being pushed to read horror or thriller. I think I'm going to put This Is Where We Talk Things Out on this. This is on my 24 and 24 list. I honestly don't know anything about this book. I don't want to know a lot about it because it's less than 100 pages. Lexi has told me to read it. She's recommended it for me, and I'm really excited to see if I'm going to like this. Lexi has recommended some really good books to me in the past, so I trust her taste, and I'm excited to see if I vibe with this one. It's a short horror novella. That's literally all I know about it. It's going to be perfect for 72 hours in the reading nook, so I definitely plan on reading it for that. Roll 4. 5. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fantasy. And then we landed on fantasy. Nice broad prompt. I also really like this prompt. I'm going to be picking Never Die by Rob J. Hayes for this one. I'm really excited to dive back into Hayes' work. Hayes has quickly become one of my favorite authors after Along the Razor's Edge, and then I also read Pawn's Gambit. I want to dive deeper into his collection of backlog and work that he's made. I love his world building, his characters. Never Die is a book set in a series of standalones, so I have read Pawn's Gambit, which is like the second standalone in this series. They follow different characters, but they're set within the same world. I really don't know a lot about this book either. I pretty much know that I loved Pawn's Gambit quite a bit, so I wanted to pick up Never Die. And this one also is quite short, so I think it's going to be perfect for 72 hours in the reading nook. There's something about finding legendary killers to kill them and bring them back to be in the Reaper's War. Truthfully, do not know anything about this, but the world created in Pawn's Gambit was freaking remarkable, so I'm going to be reading Never Die. Roll 5. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A video project, but also a snake. We're just gonna go. And next we landed on video project. I don't really have a lot of video projects for this month, but with 72 hours in the reading nook, I am doing a vlog for that. So I decided to just pick a book to be in that. Slightly cheating, and I want to within that get to one of these. The Slaying the Blank books. We have Slaying the Shadow Prince by Helen Schuer or Slaying the Shifter Prince by Claire Sager. I do think I'm going to prioritize the Claire Sager because Claire Sager is an ApollyCon author, and I am going to ApollyCon in April. So I do want to try another Claire Sager because I have tried a Claire Sager before and I didn't love it, but I want to try this one. So I think I'm going to prioritize this one over this one, but like one of these will be read. These are a series of standalones called Mortal Enemies to Monster Lovers. You may have heard of Slaying the Vampire Conqueror, which is the Carissa Broadbent one in this series of standalones. These have nothing to do with each other besides like the premise of them. I know this one is very like bully romance, and that this one is set in the same world as the Blood and Steel series by the same author. So I just am really excited for both of these and to figure out if I enjoy them. Roll 6. 5. I like my 5s today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we landed on Friend Pick, which I am going to be giving over to Monica from A Little Bit of Monica. She is our co-host for 72 hours in the reading nook, so I thought this was the perfect month to have her on. I'm a little nervous. However, there's a book that I'm really hoping for because she's in love with Marie Snyder, I think that's her name, who writes the Poison Study series, and I would be very happy to read Poison Study. However, Lexi and Monica have both talked to me about another series by this author. It starts with Navigating the Stars, which is like a dystopian YA sci-fi that I'm really intrigued in, and they've both said that they think I would like that more than Poison Study. So I'm kind of hoping that Monica picks that one, especially because Marie Snyder is an ApollyCon author, and Monica knows I'm trying to prioritize ApollyCon authors. That's what I'm hoping for. We'll see if I get that, because otherwise I'm kind of nervous on what she's going to give me. Like, I'm really nervous. My battery's flashing, but Monica has sent me her clips. Let's do a little reaction.
Hi Cassidy, thank you so much for asking me to pick a book to add to your TBR. I am very excited to have all of this power, but I'm also terrified because last time you read a book I loved, you hated it. So there's a lot of pressure here, but I think I have a book that you will really like. So let me just reach back to my Maria V. Snyder shelf and pull out The Eyes of Tambura. I think you are going to really love this YA desert setting fantasy in which everybody lives underground.
Okay, this is not the one I was expecting. I forgot this one existed. I knew this one existed. I am excited to try this one as well, like a desert setting buzzword. But not the one I wanted from her, but the author I wanted from her, so that's pretty good.
And the deeper you live, the more wealthy you are. The story is going to follow Shyla, who is a researcher who is very known for her ability to find lost artifacts, historical documents, things like that. Though when she's hired by an archaeologist to go and find the Eyes of Tambura, which are a rare set of gemstones that give the wielder a lot of magic, She is on a race to go find them. However, they are stolen and she is the #1 suspect. So then she goes on an adventure to try to find out what really happened to them, and she's going to uncover a lot of secrets. But one of the greatest things I love about this is the setting, the way that they all live underground, because if they are too high up and too close to ground level whenever the sun is at its peak, let's just say the sun is not forgiving. So this is just a really fun adventure fantasy with a great setting and a really fun magic source, but it has that kind of artifact archaeological kind of vibe that is also really fun. So I really hope you love this book, and I can't wait to hear all about it.
I'm so nervous that I'm gonna hate her fix, but this sounds really interesting to me with world building. I really like the world building, and the concept and the magic system sound really cool too. I'm a little nervous of it being described as like an adventure quest story because I don't really like traveling in my books. However, if it's done well, I can like it. I really like that world building. The desert setting sounds really cool, and I really want to try this author anyways, so I'm really excited for this one. Thank you so much, Monica, for giving this to me. I think it's going to make a really good addition to my TBR. Roll 7. Okay, come on, no snakes. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're safe. And then our last and final roll, thankfully, was multi-POV, which is a pretty easy one in my opinion. And I have my last book club read to get on here. It fits perfectly. A Crown of Oaths and Curses by J. Brie. This was technically January's read for mine and Mel's book club that we run on Patreon called the Indie Archive, where we read an indie book bi-monthly. I have not read this one yet. Everyone else is waiting on me, so this is probably my first read of February. I'm nervous. There has been mediocre thoughts in our Discord. People have been liking it and saying they're going to continue, but not like an all-time love or favorite, which is what I was hoping from this. I'm still hoping for it. This follows 2 POVs, for sure. I confirmed. It follows both love interests, the female and the male. This is supposed to be true enemies to lovers. Like, they literally hate each other. It's not like a rivals to lovers or a reluctant ally to lovers. This is literally true enemies to lovers, which I've never read before, in my opinion. I've never read a true, like, these people hate each other for a valid reason, and how are they going to conquer that to become in love? And I'm very intrigued to see how that's going to go. I've read the novellas in this. I thought the world was interesting. I'm excited to try this. I'm really excited. That's my stack of books. There's definitely a few other books I'm really hoping to get in, specifically in 72 hours in the reading nook, as I typically read a decent amount of books because that's all I do for 72 hours besides sleep and eat. But I think this is a really good stack of books. I'm excited. There's a variety of genres happening this month. I think this is going to be a really good month for my soul. I'm hoping for some new favorites. Let me know what you're planning on reading this month if you're participating in 72 hours, if there's a book you're really excited about. If you made it all the way to the end of this video and you'd like to leave me an emoji, leave me some kind of animal emoji for shifter prints. And if you're looking for more videos from me, the latest booktuber battle video is right here for you to go watch if you haven't seen it already. It's an exciting one.